Hello and welcome back to Data Analysis and Visualization. I'm Javita Christie, and in this video we are going to continue to learn D3.js from the previous two videos. And in this one particularly, we are going to see how you can style different elements of your HTML document using D3.js. And we are going to create a kind of a static bar chart that you can see on your browser afterwards. So let's begin. As you can see, I have already written this much of code, which is, HTML and head. So in the head section, I have the title as Learning D3, and this is the source of the library because this is very important. If this source is not there, then your D3.js will not work. And you can see this is what I have open on Chrome. This same file, .html file I have opened here, and right now it says d3.js demo.html. It gives me the file name, but because I have written this code where I have specified a title, when I refresh it, you can see it now says Learning D3. So now it gives me an exact name or title for my program. So now what I'm going to do is write the rest of the code. So we are going to start with the body section of my HTML document. And this is going to be H1. H1 tags, if you know HTML, you know that H1 is the sort of the highest level of header. So there are different header tags in HTML, H1, H2, H3. And each one would be something like a top heading or main heading that you want to give. So I'm just going to write as top smartphones because I want to create a sort of a bar chart that shows some comparison between different smartphones. Now, next I want to create an unordered list, and I'm going to name this list. I'm going to tag it as class equal to items so that I can refer to that later. So let's have all the list items. I'm just going to list out some popular mobile phones. So I'm writing iPhone. Let's say Galaxy. Let's do another one. Let's put LG. Let's put Windows. And let me add one more HTC. Okay. By the way, this data is not correct data. It's just taken here for an example. So whatever bar chart we are creating is not created out of real data. So once unordered list is created, we just have to close the tag, and this list is ready. Now we'll go ahead and write our script, which is going to be our D3.js script, and you know that it is a JavaScript. But before I do that, let me just show you what this looks like, and let me just close the body tag before that. So let me show you what this looks like right now. So let's go ahead and refresh in the browser, and you can see how top smartphones is really big because that is an H1 tag. And you can see all these things listed out over here in an unordered list, which is why there are bullets. Now let's go back here and give some style to this list. We want to create a bar chart. So now in the style tag, I'm going to create a variable called styles. And within this, I'm going to write down the styles for all 5 of these list items. I want to essentially give a different style to each of these items. So I'm just going to do this equal to, and I will specify different styles. So for example, I want the background of this one to be red. I want the color of this one to be white, and I want the width of this one to be 50. So this is the thing I want to give, and this is the first type of style. So this would be an array. Since it's an array, it should be a box bracket. This curly bracket is for the style that we've created. We close the curly bracket, and in a similar way, we will create another one. This time I want my background to be yellow. I want this text color to be black, and I want the width to be 25. And once again, I'll just, okay, it's already copied. So another, and in this, the background I want green. I want the color to be white. I want the width to be 20. Next we have, because we have 5 elements in our list, we are going to do 5 different styles. So next I want black background again with white and width 10. And once again, let's paste it. So there are now totally 5. This one's going to be orange with white background, and let's give it a width of 10 as well. And remove the comma that is there here because we are not adding another element. And now just close that box bracket that you opened here to declare this array of different styles. So now this array is having 5 different styles, and we want to apply them one by one on each different data item. So what we are going to do is we'll be using the familiar D3.select, which we had used before, right? We had used D3.select before, so you are already familiar with how that works. So D3 dot, let me just separate that. Okay, D3.select all, which is my function available. And here we are going to do again dot items space li, and we are going to write dot data, and we are going to specify styles. So what this does is, remember we named this variable right here, we named it styles. So this one over here is going to bind all this data within this variable, within this array, to our HTML elements that we will specify later on. And to do that, we have to write down dot style. Just like we've written dot data, we have to write dot style. And here we are going to once again open the bracket, and here we will specify some things. One thing I want to do first is to have the font size fixed for all. So because it is same for all, I can mention it here instead of mentioning it separately within these items listed here. Next, I want to apply some padding. So padding, essentially, padding and margin and some other things, they are used to specify how much area should be covered by your object. It depends on what kind of amount or number you're mentioning here. That would determine how much area your object would cover. So now in our case, we have mentioned the width right here. So the width is already there, but we haven't mentioned any specific padding. So now I'm mentioning this padding, which is going to be the same for all list items that we have. So I'm just going to make it 6 pixel. Okay, you can choose to make it whatever you like. It just shows how big your bars will look afterwards, because we are trying to create a static bar chart. So margin, I'm going with 4 pixel. Okay. And now next, I'm going to apply a background. So I want each bar in the bar chart to be of a different color. And that should be easy because I have already specified 5 different styles. So that means my first background of the first bar is going to be red, and that's going to show an iPhone with the width 50, and the font color in which iPhone will be written will be white. So to do that, you just need to mention over here background, and then specify a function D, just like we did last time. So this is nothing new. It's rather familiar because you have done this in the previous video as well. Only we assigned some sort of a text instead of style. So now we are doing style. So there's function, and this D specifies the data that you have just bound, this styles array. And now you can just choose to use it the way you want. So I'm just going to do return d.background. So what this does is it picks, because I've written dot items li, this is going to, pick each and every item in my unordered list, and then one by one assign a background to each. So the first one gets red, second gets yellow, third gets green, and so on. So that's how the background is going to be assigned. And next, what I want to assign is the color. So we'll just write color. And here we will, okay, this is a single quote. And here we will specify another function D. This time, we are going to return, instead of background, we are going to return the color. So once again, this is done. And let's go and do the other one, which is left, which is width. So just write down width and write function D. And we'll just say d dot width. Now the width actually works in percentage form or pixel form. This does not have any percentage of pixels, so I'll have to attach or append that right after this. To do that, you can just write plus and attach whatever you like. I want to attach percentage sign, so I'm just going to put that in single quotes, and it basically is going to merge percentage with the width. Okay, now once that's ready, just put a semicolon, and we can just do it down here. So put a semicolon, okay, right here, and let's close this as well, whatever we've opened, the function. Okay, and once the function is closed, you do still have to close this style tag that you had opened, which I'm going to do now, and put a semicolon. And at the end of all this, I'm also going to be closing the script tag. Sorry, this tag right up here is a script tag because this is a JavaScript. Okay, it's not a CSS file. It's not a CSS code. So this is script. I will close the script tag here, and I'll save this. And now I'm going to go ahead and go back to my Chrome window, and this is what my original document looked like. But now let's see what it looks like. I'll hit refresh. Now, since there are no changes happening here, which means there must be some error, which is fine. I happen to do that a lot, and I'm sure you have that trouble too. But you can always go to right click and click on inspect and go and find out what exactly is the problem. So it will show you over here right in this position that there's an error. You just click on that, and you can view the error. And it's basically telling me that the error right here is an unexpected token in this particular line. So It's giving me line 57. I can just go back to my code and see what that line is. So right here, there is some error, which means I probably missed out a bracket, or I added maybe one too many brackets. So whatever that is, we can fix it right here. So just count, check all the brackets. This one is opened and closed. This one is opened and closed as well. This here is opened and closed as well. And finally, the big round bracket is also closed. And sometimes if you're running into this error, it might also help you to just go and look at the previous brackets that you had, because sometimes these brackets also might create an issue for the code that is right after it. So just go ahead and look at those brackets. So basically just verify all the brackets that you have added over here. Okay, I'm just putting this here so that I don't get confused about it. Okay, so there is one bracket here that is missing. I'll just add that. And that's it. That should do it. So let's save it, go back to Chrome, and I'll close this inspect window. And let's run it. And yes, you can see there is a change. I can again look at the inspect, Control-Shift-I, and see if there are any more errors. And I can see that there aren't any more errors. So this is what the code looks like. So you can see this is a simple bar chart where, you know, iPhone is having a longer area, a longer bar. The reason for this being that we specified the width as 50. And then the next width is 25. So that's why the phone after that is having exactly half the width of this iPhone bar. And then the others are in this manner. So you can see how it is perfectly styled and how you can also do this using D3.js. So I hope you understood all this, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.